Hello everyone, welcome to the Iron Pass My True Crime YouTube channel. So we are going to continue with the story of Sean Diddy Combs. We're going to call him Diddy this time because I think it's a mouthful going all these names. Other than that, guys, his bail was denied, which was a big shocker to me because I thought with his celebrity status and the money that he has, they were going to give him an ankle bracelet and send him to his $50 million house in Miami or in LA or New York, and he waits for his trial in the next 6 to 12 months. But anyways, his lawyer said that he is going to do everything in his power to make sure that his trial is held as soon as possible because he is innocent. However, though, I was like, okay, what were the grounds for him to be denied bail by the district judge, Judge Carter? I'm just thinking, man, the charges that you are charged with, they are quite serious. So Judge Carter is going to be the same judge that is going to be presiding over Diddy's trial. So all that made him to be denied bail is because this particular federal judge was doing what you would call a pre-trial looking into this case and came to the conclusion that P. Diddy, there is no way that he will get bail simply because he's a danger to women, danger to society, as well as tampering with witnesses, and that is not going to be something that she will take a risk on granting him bail. So there's some conditions that Diddy's lawyers put on the table basically to secure his bail and convince the judge that he is not a flight risk. So these are the following things that were presented by Diddy's lawyers to convince the court to grant him bail. So the things they are, I'm going to be reading them because I've written them down. The first one is his $50 million mansion in Miami, that he will put it on bond. Number two, that he handed over his passport. And number three, he be held at house arrest. That's something that I thought that was going to be done. And a certain security company will monitor his movement in and out, and also the places that he's going to travel to, which I think there are 3 or 4, being LA, Miami, New York, and Wyoming, and anywhere else. So meaning that there's going to be a contingency of police that are going to follow him all over wherever he goes to. So they put that on the table. They also put on the table that anyone that moves in and out of Sean's homes, whether in Miami or in LA or New York or Wyoming, they also be monitored. The fourth or fifth thing is that no phone and also no internet connection or access for as long as he is still awaiting trial. The last one is have cameras everywhere in his homes, basically once again to monitor him 24 hours. I was like, okay, that is quite excessive and interesting to actually put on the table. However, the judge was not convinced with any of these things that were put on the table and still said, listen, there is a video that was shown of Cassie being assaulted by P. Diddy at the Continental Hotel in LA in 2016. Because of that video, the judge said, danger to women, there is no way I'm going to send him out there. And secondly, the judge also found out, which is the second aspect of why he was denied bail, the judge found out that there are phone records that show that P. Diddy, when he heard of his imminent arrest late last year, around January or so, allegedly, he made contact with the witnesses, some of whom are victims of everything that is transpiring right now. And he had one of those victims. He was calling them more than 100 times. So that did not sit well with the judge. And the judge said, you are tampering with the witnesses, and there is no way that this court is going to take that risk of letting you go and continue tampering with the witnesses, acting inappropriately with witnesses, and probably also even threatening the witnesses, because we also heard that some witnesses are afraid to come forward, meaning victims are afraid to come forward simply because P. Diddy may have called them before when he heard about all of this, Either he promised them something that if you are not going to rat me out, I'm going to give you so much money, or I'm going to give you this, or I'm going to take you here, or whatever the case might be. Even if he did do that, it looks like the 2016 video of him assaulting Cassie seems to be holding a lot of weight for the state to actually win this case against P. Diddy. So the judge also felt that with the tampering of witnesses, it's also tantamount to obstruction of justice. So P. Diddy's case just keep getting bigger and bigger, and all these evidence just keep piling up and up and up. Which one has to ask themselves is, since you know that the federal government is the one that is in charge of everything, you are still committing inappropriate acts by calling witnesses and also threatening some of them. What did you think was going to happen? Because all you have to do is start preparing for your arrest, your defense, and making sure that all your ducks are in a row. But instead, he is committing more inappropriate acts by contacting the witnesses, which is something quite stupid if you ask me. Now, the question I'm having in my head is, with all of these things that are transpiring, especially with the sex parties that he was holding in LA and Miami, was he doing it alone? Because we know that celebrities always hang out with other celebrities, right? And so if there would be like a freak party somewhere, don't you think those celebrities also got to delve into that freak party that was happening? And how? And also the question I have in my head, how many of these victims or the alleged victims that were also used by Diddy's celebrity friends? So from where I stand, I think if you're a celebrity and then you were going to these parties, we know that P. Diddy is also famous for his white, is it white party, whatever that party is called, that you would hold in the Hamptons and sometimes in Miami. If you've been there and you've done something to somebody that you don't know, I think you need to get yourself a lawyer very, very soon, because the federal police will be knocking on your door because you'll be under arrest for being an accomplice in this crime. Things are just unraveling, things are getting scarier, and I think a lot of celebrities may be also quite afraid. But if I was one of them and I knew, or maybe I suspect that I may have been involved without knowing, I would be a state witness. I'll be bargaining with the state right now and say, turn me into a state witness with the exchange that I do not serve time in prison, or if I do serve, but it must be less than what I was going to get originally, if you know what I mean. So it turns out that the state does have about 50 witnesses. This list could actually expand. It could actually grow, as now I think witnesses, maybe victims, may feel a little bit comfortable knowing that it is now behind bars. And if there are outstanding victims that are out there, they may actually start approaching the investigators and say, hey, listen, me too, I was one of the victims, and tell their story. And which also means that the charges will just keep growing on Diddy Combs. It's crazy what's going on. Things are starting to look very bad for Sean Diddy Combs, because when things were just unraveling before all of this, he was denying everything, including Cassie, when she lodged a lawsuit in November of 2023. He accused her of money-grabbing opportunists, and that's when the video came out, where he was assaulting her. And that video is the video that the state is going to hold on to, and it will suck every single juice drop out of it, including other videos that Cassie said, that allegedly said that Diddy was recording while he was doing these acts with these people. Which kind of like me, I'm like, so you were witnessing all these things happening, aren't you an accomplice? Or unless she's talking about hidden cameras that are all over P. Diddy's house. And if you want, now that also things are unraveling for her for the first time, maybe she's remembering that, listen, in the house there are cameras everywhere. Chances are he did record those acts that he did with the victims. So now apparently there are videos of his acts on these victims. So there is no way to run for him. He can't deny, he can't say it wasn't me, he can't say anything unless he is going to argue his case on the grounds of consent. That all of this happened because those people, they consented to it, and as a result of what is transpiring right now, he's a celebrity, he's a billionaire, and people are just trying to get money out of him, hence all of this is happening. We don't know what these arguments are going to be, but my biggest question is, how will the witnesses convince the jury? Because the jury, if I was a jury member, the first thing that I probably will do while I'm listening to the first witness, I may give them a side eye I will give them a bombastic side eye, like, is this for real? Are you for real? Like, really? This is P. Diddy. But I think if more witnesses come on the stand and tell a consistent story or a similar story, then yes, of course, I myself, as a skeptic in the beginning, I will start listening and be like, oh my goodness, you're such a freak, an illegal freak for that matter, and probably come up with a decision of my own. Hopefully, all my other jury members will also agree with me type of situation, whether it's guilty or not guilty. So that is what I am thinking about, that I think that these witnesses have a lot to do in order to convince the jury that Sean actually did what he did to them against their consent or against their will. I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be a very interesting trial, this one that we are facing probably in 2025, because Sean Diddy Combs is now remanded in custody in New York, from what I understand. I mean, this particular jail, from what I understand, it isolates the celebrities from a general population in a real jail. This is where Epstein's and everybody, including R. Kelly, was held at until the trial began. So I think this one may start sometime in April, May of 2025. However, P. Diddy's lawyer says, no, I'm going to try and bring it forward as fast as possible so that we can get over and done with this. He's innocent, and he says he's innocent of all of this, everything, and then he's going to fight. Definitely says he's going to fight for P. Diddy's liberty. It was also quite interesting to hear in court when P. Diddy's lawyer was actually excusing the 2016 video of him assaulting Cassie, and said that they have been in a loving relationship for the past 10 years. And the judge interjected and said, what does love got to do with anything? So, which was quite interesting, and they tried to explain it, but it was shallow, and the judge still said, no, he is a danger to women, and therefore, I am denying him bail. So, Sean Diddy Combs' lawyer vowed that he's going to continue to fight, as you are going to hear in this video.
We're not giving up by a long shot. I told Mr. Combs I'm going to try and get his case to trial as quickly as possible. I'm going to try and minimize the amount of time he spends in very, very difficult and, I believe, inhumane housing conditions in the special housing unit of the Metropolitan Detention Facility. And I'm going to do everything that I can to move his case as quickly as possible. I understand that the government has a great amount of electronic devices that they have to download and provide to me, but everything's on the government's timetable, nothing's on the defendant's timetable, and they're going to have to accommodate me and him and give us a quick trial, and I'm going to be pushing for that. He's ready, he's focused. He has been ready to defend this case since he first found out about this case. Nothing has changed from his perspective. I obviously would much prefer to fight this case with him out of jail, and we are going to try to bring that about through additional legal process. But wherever he is, his resolve is the same. He believes he's innocent. I believe he's innocent, and we're going to fight this case with all of our might until we don't have to fight any longer. I'm not really going to take any questions. But at this point, we are moving forward. We're preparing for trial as we speak, and we are considering our next steps and appealing the court's ruling from today. All right. Thank you all very much. I really appreciate it. He's doing good. Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. I'll do that. So in the past, Essex County, New Jersey, it's a county facility, but it has a contract with the federal government, and you can get a certain number of federal inmates in Essex County, New Jersey. And in my experience, it's an easier place to deal with. I think it's better for the person being housed there, and it's easier to get access, to him. I mean, one of the hardest things when you're preparing for a very significant trial with a great deal of discovery is you want your client to be able to have access to, the electronic discovery. Nothing nowadays is in paper form. Everything's electronic. So you need to make sure that your client has access to a computer and then they can look at the discovery, that comes in. So that was my idea. All right. I'm going to go. Thank you.
However, though, I feel like it was, for me, seeing his two boys in court, meaning his sons in court, listening and hearing all of these things about their father, I can imagine what was going on through Sean Diddy Combs' mind. However, though, this is an accusation. He is not guilty. He is still innocent until proven guilty. However, though, if he is found guilty, it's going to be, I don't know how it's going to be like for his children. It's going to be sad. Very, very sad. And then the question now I'm also asking, what about his wealth? What's going to happen with his wealth, considering that the indictment talks of a criminal enterprise? So meaning that everything that Sean owns may be proceeds of crime. And that means he's going to lose everything that he's ever built. His businesses, his houses, what is going to be left of the children, the money, everything. Oh my goodness, this is going to be crazy. Anyways, guys, that is all that I think I have for you, updating you on what transpired with Sean Diddy Combs' bail application. It was denied. So he did not get himself an ankle bracelet like I thought he was. Even though himself, he tabled it. Can you believe it? He tabled it as a condition. But the judge said no. So Judge Carter seems to be a no-nonsense judge who is going to be presiding over the trial, and I cannot wait for the trial to begin. And let's have a discussion, guys. I suppose this is the time where we need to go into the comment section and let me hear your thoughts about this entire saga. What's going on? What are your thoughts? Do you believe the victims? I always believe the victims. I don't want to lie in any circumstances until it comes out that the victim has lied. That's just me. That's just me. Maybe you might feel differently. I don't know, but put it in the comment section and let's have a discussion. I will see you guys next time. But before you go, make sure to give this video a like and also subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to click the bell notification so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.